good morning, trendsetters. It's a Sunday morning, August the 4th, and I'm going to take my bike out for a spin and give you a look at my first recording on my GoPro. It's a pretty cool sort of 12 degrees. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm thinking we might go for a run up the Putty Road and see how that is, depending upon the traffic. Get the old girl out for a spin. I haven't ridden her for a while, a month or two. It's been a little bit cool. Not a big fan of the cold weather. Take the exit off for the Harbour Bridge. Don't want to bore you guys with the Harbour Tunnel. Nothing interesting there. We'll drop out. Bridge Sydney North, that's us. My backyard. Sydney Harbour and the Harbour Bridge. I love it. Circular Quay, the ferry services. The city. Killer bend this, 35k. Just goes forever. Definitely got a focus here and merging. There you go, double banger. Here we go, north of the city and onto the Harbour Bridge. There we go. I love it, trendsetters. You could certainly do a lot worse than this for a ride on Sunday morning, that's for sure. Well, I've got a 2018 Street Glide CVO. I've had this bike for about 12 months now. It's probably the second one I've had. Had a 2017 Street Glide Special, this CVO with the bigger motor and all the bits and pieces. Yeah, she's definitely a nice bike, very comfortable. Wouldn't say I use everything on it though, trendsetters. The stereo and everything, like, it's good. It doesn't get much use though, that's for sure. But it's a comfy bike, and the 117's plenty of power for this motorcycle, that's for sure. North Sydney up ahead. The ramp off there to the right takes you around to Kirribilli House, where the Prime Minister lives. About 200 or 300 metres, I guess, off to the right there, not too far down. The harbour's all behind us now. We've got a nice run out the expressway once we get there. M2 out to Windsor and off to the Putty Road. Okay, coming out through the Lane Cove area now. Just come out of the tunnel, cracking up into the 100k zone, so we can give the old goal a little bit more of a wind out. Hardly making it run at all, this bike. So anyway, as I said, the 2018 CVO Street Glide. This happens to be gunship grey, this one. There it goes 100 k's, and then there's roadworks, and they drop you back to 80. So anyway, the old street ride. Really happy with this bike. I generally trade my bikes every year, as I had the Street Glide Special before this, which is my first foray into baggers, and before that I had a Night Rod Special, the last of the new shape. Had that denim black with orange stripes, and not a bad bike. Loud bike, fast bike, but these days I generally head out for the day, have lunch with some of my mates, trendsetters, up the Hunter Valley or down the coast, and I'm at that stage now where I want to take it a little bit easier, hit the cruise control, maybe listen to a bit of music, take up a bit of moto vlogging, as you can see. I hope I'm doing an okay job for my first go. We'll see when we get back and get this onto the editing table what it stacks up like. And this bike's due for a turnover now. It's just gone 12 months old, as I said, 6,400 kilometres. That's about, I don't know, 3,500 miles if you read in that measure. And I'm tossing up about having a crack at a road glide, but I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's only 12 months to ride the thing before I change it, so this bike, as I said, I've been tremendously happy with. All pretty standard. I've got a full Reinhardt system, Reinhardt headers, 4-inch Reinhardt mufflers, and 6-inch Clockworks fairing. Amazing fairing. This thing keeps pretty much all the wind off you. And I'm 5'7", about 80 kg, that is in pounds for you fossils that have imperial measure still, but anyway. And the bike suits me good. Riding position is great, and as I said, very comfortable, and it hasn't missed a beat. So but you know, I'm going to change it again. I've had 2 of these. Do I buy another model of the same thing? And I'm reading online, and there's a lot of people that are in favour of road glides, and I think, truth be known, there's probably not a great deal of difference between the two. So we'll see. It's the new model announcements, I think, generally in about 4 weeks or so in the US. So we'll see what comes out of that, what the models look like, what the colours are like, if there's any updates on the equipment, and I'll make a decision and put my order in. I've already put a forward order and a deposit down with the dealer. Don't know what I'm going to get, but it's probably a bit more of a placeholder, I guess. Stacks me in the queue, so we'll see. If you've got any comments on preference, I'm sure everyone's got plenty to say. But as I said, I kind of see from the reviews that within reason, once these things are up and running, they're fairly similar, and then styling comes into play. And there's pros and cons for both of the fairings on everyone's opinions. So I've never been one to conform, to go with the flow of the majority. In fact, I'd have to say, trendsetters, that it's generally in my personality to go with something that's a bit different and not go with the majority rule. I like to think of myself as a independent thinking kind of person, that's for sure. Alright, trendsetters, well, here we are. We're just taking it off the M2. We're taking the old Windsor Road exit. That's a quick little shift along there. Make sure I get this down to 60 k's in case there's any surreptitious officers of the law hanging around. Okay, there we go. 2017, you turn it on and she goes, and every now and then, you know, you've got to have a bit of power there, trendsetters, because it can get you out of strife, as you know. So I'm wondering for the 2020 models whether they might be up in the ante with this motor. Yeah, there's a bit of talk here about mono shocks and things like that. Not really any thoughts on that. I'm pretty happy with the suspension setup. I'm not a heavy guy, as I said, 80 kilos. So this bike rides one up for me. That's all I do. It's pretty nicely. So, but you know, I guess they're always looking to improve. That's for sure. All right, here we go. We're just coming into Windsor now. Little kind of heritage town on the outskirts of the Sydney metro area. Where are we? Probably, I'll have to guess, 50 k's from the CBD, I think. It's probably the last within reason of sort of residential homes around the place. And we'll be out into the acreages and farms there. A lot of turf farms going to be coming up. Not a bad part of the world out here, trendsetters. They've got a pretty cruisy lifestyle. As I said, most of these people out here are turf farmers. And nice, peaceful kind of lifestyle. The only thing I don't like is when I'm passing through is the ripe smell of the chicken manure, the fertiliser. Yes, a bit strong up the old nose as you're riding by, but obviously got my full face helmet on today, so I'm hoping a lot of that's blocked out when I'm riding around on the old open face and you come through here, boy. It gets in there and it stays in there, and it takes a good 10 or 20 k's to clear the nostrils out. But it's a bit of a head blast, that's for sure. Certainly alerts the sensors. Start of the Putty Road now, trendsetters, and still have to be a little bit careful. Bit of a haunting ground for the police, of course. But say it's a fairly prolific bike road. That is, oh my god, haven't had my first coffee yet. Pretty prolific bike road for motorcyclists. Most of the guys on the fast bikes get out early in the morning and do their whiz through, trying to take themselves out and everyone else around them. Myself, I prefer to take it at a more relaxed pace, enjoy the ride and the twisties, but without having a suicide wish. That doesn't mean we don't give it a little bit of a punt along there, that's for sure. I think that's a kind gesture from that car, pulling over and letting me through. Pretty damn nice. Oh no, you can probably see that clown's done a U-turn. Ah dear, welcome to Sydney. Anyway, we'll take it careful along here, 80 k's, believe it or not. And it's certainly easy to sneak up over that without thinking, that's for sure. There's some great properties out here, all fairly rural. You can see there's actually a number of them for sale and land. And if you wanted to get out of the rat race, I mean, this isn't on a good run, 45 minutes into Sydney without the peak traffic, and there's reasonably good transport system in. You could live out here nice and relaxed, have your animals, horses if you like that kind of thing. You certainly drive out the front gate onto one of the best bike riding roads in New South Wales every morning, that's for sure. That's a good enticement for anyone, isn't it? I think. Talking about getting out of the city, I'm reading a great book at the moment, Millionaire Castaway, that's called. And it's about a guy that lost all the family fortune in the 87 crash. Decided to go and live out on a island up out off the north coast of Queensland, Restoration Island it's called. No power, no water. He's lived there for 30 years now, I think, to the ripe old age of 78. And just decided to pack up stumps, catches most of his food, grows his own veggies, cooks over an open fire. It's fairly extreme, I think, but just goes to show you, when you've had enough, sometimes you've had enough. I don't think I'm anywhere near that, but having a holiday house somewhere is certainly appealing, that's for sure.